Mr. Wade here, me and Mrs. Crime. We are now at the Memorial Cemetery out here in Vancouver, Washington. What brings us out here? We've been here a total of 4 times. Our videos are posted of the places that we've been and the people that we respected and seen here. But we have a new person of subject, a new grave we're going to give respect to. I hope you guys enjoy this. Stay tuned for a lot more. Here we go. So me and Mrs. Crime are looking for an individual that played an important part in the 80s. Very creative, of course. I'm involved in this era, and we definitely enjoy this type of artistry. So basically, we're out here to find the grave of a rock star, a person that made great music, a person that was implemental to the lead singer of Metallica. The lead singer of Metallica said he played a great inspiration in his art form to become who he is in that form of Metallica. I remember the good albums by Metallica. Metallica 1, just speaking on what I know. This group here is called Metal Church. Now, they began in Seattle area. And from 1984 until present, not present day, but until the time he passed from complications of a car accident, basically, he was a vital guitarist, a vital singer, and he was inspired by other bands, like Judas Priest inspired this guy. And I got involved in this story by saying, wow, I listened to his music, him and the band, and it was great. Just how they did it, just how the music played. And if you're like me, involved in just the music of the early 80s, of the rock era, the hair band, the different eras of music back then, Mr. Wade, myself, I missed that era. So that's why this plays a deep component to my soul of bringing this to you guys. And if you haven't heard of this guy, I know you'll start liking him because he was big time in the 80s. He's been through 4 albums with metal type of rock, which was the metal, just the drumming, the music is just awesome, right? So definitely, I know you guys will enjoy this. Stay tuned. So the guy that we're going to bring to you guys to see and give respect to his grave, his name is David Wayne. That's right, David Wayne from Metal Church. Now, when you hear the term Metal Church, it rings a bell. It rings a bell of church. It rings a bell of metal, which is the rock and roll era, right? But it talks about just that feeling of Metal Church. And if you play their music, I'm going to say his music, but he was the leader of the band and guitarist and singer. But if you listen to the music, oh my God, it brings out so much feelings of that era. Back when Bon Jovi, and back when David Lee Roth of Van Halen, you know, it brings back that good feeling. David Wayne. Stay tuned. Now, we've been out here just giving respect because there is a funeral that's going on out here. And I wouldn't want nobody videotaping near a funeral in my family or something like that, a tragic thing to happen. But definitely, me and Miss Carmen giving them respect. The graves out here in Evergreen Cemetery have a special red rose, and me and Mrs. Carmen trying to find out what makes this today, or maybe the past few days, of the red roses. As you see out here, it just goes on and on and on. We've just admired this. It's beautiful. Some things of a cemetery is very beautiful, very nice. And of course, it's cold out here, as Vancouver Washington, always cold, you know. But definitely, I'm always saying definitely because I'm trying to get my point across, right? To how we have passion for what we do and we enjoy this. So back to the subject matter, right? So, David Wayne. I said earlier that the band was formed in, how can I say, Seattle. But actually the band was formed in San Francisco, California. So I take them words back. San Francisco, California, this band was formed. He did 3 albums, not 4, but 3 albums with the band they created called Metal Church. He was lead, right? Guitarist, vocalist. He had that raspy sound that a lot of your early pioneers in the 80s wanted to create and use in their own music. You know, like I stated earlier, he was a big inspiration for the lead guitarist and vocalist of Metallica. Now, when I first heard Metallica, I'll go back to this. It's like the song One, back in my teenager years, I was 14. That was the thing. To hear One, you know, that was a song. But then I hear David Wayne and his band, Metal Church. Why was it called Church? Now, to break it down to why David Wayne and the name Metal Church. Rock is metal, right? Rock and roll, metal. Different sounds as time goes on throughout the 80s, 70s, 80s, up until now, present. You know, but as you can tell, his AKA name was called the Reverend. The Reverend. David Wayne, the Reverend. So he's preaching to you as he's singing, as he's playing it, as his band is playing, he's preaching it to you. He's showing you, hey, I'm the Reverend. I'm David Wayne. Awesome. Now, he began playing guitar at the age of 8. And of course, he could sing because he was brought up in church. And the faith I'm not going to say the name wrong, so I'm going to post it on here. The faith that they're involved in, the type of church. I'm not going to say it right because I'm always messing words up, as you know, Mr. Wade does. But definitely, he was the guy. He was in choir in church, and then he played music. They said he had an ear for music. He had no lessons. He learned from just by ear and just pure talent. David Wayne. Wow. Stay tuned. Now, when the band formed, they did 3 albums. I don't know what happened, but he ended up going solo and called his first album The Reverend. I like that. The Reverend. I'm going to sing this song to you. I'm going to preach this song to you. I'm going to give you this song, and I want you to feel it. Now, if you play their music, you will definitely like their music if you're into that rock era. If you're not into the rock era, you will play the music and be like, it's good. Definitely good. You know, it's great. I'm just mad that I slept on it. I didn't know about him. I probably seen their videos on MTV as a young kid and just never really paid attention to who it was, just like the music, and that was that. These days, you can download music, you can see the music, but we're missing the feel of the music, right? The feel of the music. Wow. You know, getting an album and opening it up and seeing the words of the song. Not just this downloading thing that we do these days. It's great. The sound is excellent, but I miss them days. Wow. Now, Mrs. Crime is good at maps. She's good at finding different loved ones in our cemetery searches. And I myself tried to find the grave before her. Of course, applause to Mrs. Crime. She found it before I did. But right now, we're at this thing called the Arlington West. And it's called Silently We Come to This Instant in Time, pausing, thinking of veterans leaving families and friends, homes, jobs, disrupting their lives, going when called, doing whatever ordered, often at fearful risk to help their country in its time of great need. At this moment, we can quietly reflect on their personal sacrifices and wonder why it must be. Dedicated by Willard J. Carlson, President, May 30th, 1982, I would say. Wow. Very nice. So, David Wayne. Now, he died from complications that he had from a head-on car accident, and he died from that. Now, he definitely was a guy that was driven from what I've read about him. He had a following. I mean, come on now, the Reverend. I like that. I'm the Reverend. Now, that was his only solo album that he made, called The Reverend. Now, he broke up with the group in 1989, 1990 approximately. He got back together to form what they call the Masterpiece with the band. Now, the band, when David left, they ended up getting another lead singer he was good, but he didn't have that raspiness that we like, you know? But he was good, though. Don't get me wrong. The guy was awesome. But sometimes you can't replace somebody that has that it factor, just has that passion, that conveyness, that it. And he definitely had that it. He died in, I think it was like May of 2015. If I'm wrong, I will post it here. He died in May 2015. But he is buried here. Like I said earlier, Miss Crime found his grave, and he is buried with both of his parents. So I'm going to take you to his grave and give the respect to David. Once again, David Wayne. Stay tuned. Here we are. Legendary rock singer and leader of the band Metal Church. It states Calvin R. 1906 to 1986. Thelma L. 1915 to 2007. And there he is with a guitar pick on it. In loving memory of David Wayne Carnell. 1958 to 2005. Wow. Together and married forever. 11/1/1933 was his parents joined, and then John 14, verse 1, chapter 3, white. This is the grave of the legendary David Wayne Cornell. Wow. Now, even Mr. Wade and even Mrs. Crime, she's somewhere way over there, taking her ultimate photos, making our Whispers moment to each cemetery or graveyard that we go to. Miss Crime gets all her photos together and makes what you call Whispers moments. The collection is on here. To those just now coming on, just now seeing Tombstone Whispers, we have a Whispers collections of all the headstones that we give proper respect to. It's definitely here. So with the songs that you're going to listen to, because I brought you David Wayne for those who did not know about him or the band Metal Church, I myself didn't know about as well. But unfortunately, with the circumstances of his car crash and the injuries he got with the head-on collision, which brought him to die or to pass away in 2005. Earlier, I said in 2015, I was 10 years beyond. In fact, that's a good thing, right? Because his artistry lives on. David Wayne. Let's go find Mrs. Crime. Stay tuned. Now, as we go find Mrs. Crime, I want to give thanks to all our subscribers out there for tuning in to our channel and making us feel the way we feel inside of going to different cemeteries, adventuring different graveyards, different celebrity homes. We thank you. We thank you. Now, where is Mrs. Crime? We did the presentation on David Wayne. Now I'm looking for Mrs. Crime. Let's go find her. Now, as we find Mrs. Crime, as I go look for her, she's doing her thing. She's probably at the mausoleum or maybe the columbarium. But we have this thing here. I'm going to show you guys what it is. It's for the veterans. It's like a tank. It's very nice. Stay tuned. In memory of all veterans who served their country so well, we, the members of Alcoa Post number 173, American Legion, do honor and dedicate this avenue of flags. This is in honor of those who served, donated by the following American Legion Post. Very nice. Me and Mrs. Crime also give all respect to those who served and have served for our country. Very nice. Now, I've been walking for the past 20 minutes and I have not seen Mrs. Crime. You know, sometimes she gets down low behind trees and take these photos, and I don't even see her. I have walked past her at some cemeteries, not even knowing that she was there doing her artistry pictures that she shows, you know. I'm going to find her, right? Stay tuned. So I'm out here looking for Mrs. Crime, and I find this columbarium. Thank you to all the subscribers and YouTubers that actually post things about what things are called and what the name of the certain areas of the cemetery are. Columbariums, memorial columbariums. It's a lot here, and it's still beautiful. You know, how they have the floor decorations and everything like that. Once again, we're out here at a cemetery out here in Vancouver, Washington, called the Evergreen. Stay tuned. So we're walking up on this memorial. I can't believe I was going to say memorandum. But the memorial section of loved ones here. I don't know the name of it, but definitely it's beautiful. Anything that has respect, showing the names, it's beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So this says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me beside the still waters. Nice. We will definitely find out what the name of this area is of the cemetery, and I definitely will be posting the name. Very nice. Now, this cemetery is so big that it's been 35 minutes. Add on to a 20 minutes earlier, so it's 35 minutes. 15 minutes is in, and I finally get a text from Mrs. Crime stating that she's by the flag. I've seen 5 flags out here, but she's by one of the flags. Let's go find Mrs. Crime. Stay tuned. Now, as I get outside the columbarium and the memorial, I think I see Mrs. Crime. Now, there's a flag right here, right? Okay. We were over there by the tank, Memorial to Veterans, all here. I think she's way over there. I can see her grayish coat walking. Wait, let's try to zoom in and see. She's way over there. You know, Mrs. Crime, she's maybe 5'1", 5'2", so it's not much to see from way over here, you know. Don't tell her I said that, you know, because she'll get mad about me, you know. But just know that Mr. Wade is finally spotted Mrs. Crime. Stay tuned. More to come. Now, the veteran flag that I pointed to is in the veteran part of the cemetery. And it states, in memory of all veterans of the United States, American Armed Forces, they gave so much to preserve our liberties. Very nice. Look what I found. Mrs. Crime. Wow. Here she is. So on adventuring to find Mrs. Crime, we see an ongoing funeral right here. All respect to the family. They have a tractor out there, I guess. I don't know if it's their religion or what, but they're actually seeing the grave being, I guess, dug up to make the actual plot. And not sure of it, but I think they're going to actually watch their loved one be buried. Instead of just the green tarp, that's all the thing, and all the family leave and everything like that. And then they do it after the actual funeral. But I guess they're going to do it prior. I don't know if that's what's going on, but me and Mrs. Crime can't be too nosy. We're definitely going to, you know, stay our distance and just give respect. Whatever's going on, because everybody's not dressed in the attire for a funeral. So stay tuned. hope you guys enjoyed our adventure out here at the Evergreen Cemetery in Vancouver, Washington. And we're searching for David Wayne, ultimate guitarist and lead vocalist of Metal Church. I'm Mr. Wade and
Mrs. Prime.
thank you for joining us. All you subscribers, thank you. A pleasure having you aboard our channel, and many more adventures to come from Tombstone Whispers. Until then,